Hey everyone, welcome back to Insane Job Jams. My name's Alex Carter, and I've been behind the wheel of a Formula One car for years. I've seen crashes, heartbreaks, and some of the wildest wins.
But today,
I want to tell you about the craziest race of my career.
a race I schuld velost.
A race where my car was falling apart beneath me, and yet, somehow, I crossed that finish line first. And I did it on tires that should have blown out 10 laps earlier. It was a hot Sunday afternoon, one of those races where the track itself feels like an oven. The asphalt shimmered, and every mechanic in the pit lane kept glancing at the tire data nervously. Everyone knew this was going to be a tire-eating race. Strategy was simple: pit twice, maybe even 3 times if you were aggressive. But I wasn't thinking about strategy. I was thinking about survival. My car wasn't the fastest on the grid. My engine was solid, but my downforce package wasn't ideal. I knew the only way I had a shot at the podium was through smart driving and risky choices. The lights went out. 20 drivers, engines roaring, tires screaming as we dove into turn 1.
I fällt adrenaline Sorge. The kind of tunnel vision you only get at 200 miles per hour.
For the first 20 laps, things went smooth. I was holding position, fighting wheel to wheel with guys who had way more pace.
My team kept telling me, keep it steady, Alex. Save the tires.
We'll pit you at lap 22. But around lap 18, I started noticing something. My tires still felt alive. Normally, by then, you'd feel the grip fall off. Sliding in corners. Struggling on traction. But mine, they were worn sure but not dead. And that's when the thought crept in: what if I stretch this? What if I don't pit when they tell me to?
Lap 22 came.
My engineer's voice crackled.
Box, box, box.
Tires are done. I looked at the pit entry, and I drove right past it.
Alex, you missed the pit. What's going on?
I just said, she still feels good.
Let's keep going.
They weren't happy.
Over the radio I heard panic.
This isn't sustainable.
Lose all grip.
You'll DNF. But I didn't care. Something in my gut told me this was my shot. If I stopped, I'd fall back into the midfield and never recover. If I stayed out, maybe, just maybe, I'd get track position that nobody else could touch. Every lap after that was torture. The steering wheel shook harder. Corners felt like skating on glass. Rivals with fresher tires were hunting me down, and every time one of them got close, I had to dig deep, brake later, take insane lines, defend with everything I had. There was one rival, a young hotshot, who tried to pass me 3 times in 2 laps. Each time, I blocked him with millimeters to spare. My engineer was losing his mind on the radio. Alex, you're going to crash out. Box now. But I stayed. And then the craziest thing happened. Cars that had pitted started fighting each other, slowing each other down. My risky gamble turned into a real shot at the win. Suddenly, I wasn't just surviving, I was leading. By lap 50, my tires were screaming.
I kult fehl bump, vibration.
The dashboard showed red warnings. One wrong move and it was over. The young hotshot came back at me with 3 laps to go. He had DRS, fresher rubber, everything in his favor. He dove into the inside line. For a second, I thought it was done. But somehow, I braked later, kept the car steady and forced him wide.
The crowd roared.
2 laps to go.
My team begged, Alex, just bring it home.
Even if you finish second, it's a miracle. But second wasn't enough. On the last lap, I pushed harder than I ever had in my life. Every corner felt like it could end in disaster, but I held on. The finish line was there.
I crossed it first.
The car was barely drivable. When I parked in park firm, the tires were shredded to the cords, practically exploding. My mechanics looked at me like I was insane. Reporters swarmed, calling it the riskiest win in years.
And me? I just laughed.
Because in that moment, I realized something. Sometimes the craziest decisions are the ones that define your career. So yeah, that's the story of how I won a Formula One Grand Prix on tires that should have killed my race.
Don't try this at home.
But in that cockpit with everything on the line, I knew it was my only chance. And it worked. That's racing.
That's life.